So, what's up, everybody? This is Da'zjon, the owner of Tinae's Wealth Management and Credit Consulting. And today we're going to discuss how to remove all of your collections from your Experian, your Equifax, and your TransUnion. So, I really wanted to dive into some key concepts to really talk about a lot of things that people should be doing as far as, removing derogatory collection accounts or just dealing with charge-offs in general. So, I have a template right here in front of me. I'm really going to go through it and explain how you can effectively challenge your collection agencies. But I really want to start off first by saying the first thing that you want to do is create a debt validation letter for everybody that's looking at the video. A debt validation letter is important because it puts the creditor or the agency in position to validate a debt. So I'm sure everybody that's watching has had maybe an experience dealing with let's just say a hospital or a doctor that sent you a medical bill in the mail, or a phone company that may have misled you to believe that, whatever the situation may have been or the agreement that's what it was, just for you to end up in collections. So first thing I always tell people, don't even worry about contacting the original creditor once they've already sold the debt. If they sell the debt and you're in collections, there's nothing that you need to do as far as talking to that company. So if you're in collections, don't worry about it. What you need to do is first start off with a debt validation letter that looks like this. It's pretty much a letter that says, basically prove that I owe this debt. Don't just send me a ledger with my name, my email, my social security number. It basically asks you to get down into the specifics. So it says, be advised that this is not refusal to pay, but a notice sent pursuant to the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Then it has their little code stating your claim is disputed and validated is requested. This is not a request for verification or proof of my mailing address, but a request for validation made pursuant to the above named title and section. I respectfully request your offices provide me with competent evidence that I have any legal obligation to pay you. I do not believe that this debt is valid and wish to know exactly what this debt is for. So you want to get into the specifics when you're talking to these agencies, because a lot of them just be talking about a bunch of bullshit. They're going to send you ledgers. They're going to pick up the phone and call you, which is why I always tell people, before you even dispute with the motherfuckers, make sure you hit they dumbass with a cease and desist letter. The cease and desist letter will prevent them from contacting you either through phone or mail, unless it's validating the damn debt. So if they not validating the debt, they're not going to waste their time contacting you, because they're going to basically breach the cease and desist response. So you can stop them from calling you. Keep that in mind. You don't have to keep talking to these agencies on the phone. Send them a debt validation letter and follow up with a cease and desist. If you do that, they have no choice but to send you validation. If you just send a validation letter without a cease and desist, they're just going to pick up the phone and call you. Then you're going to argue and you're going to validate the debt. That's why it's important to send the cease and desist letter with it. A lot of people miss this step, and then they wonder why sometimes a lot of agencies continue to argue with them and don't remove the debt. So you can't sit on the phone and argue with these agencies or these original creditors if that's your situation. You got to hit them with a cease and desist so they can only contact you via mail. That's going to give them 30 days to respond back to you, whether they're showing the validation or if they're not showing the validation. So what you also should be including is information like this. If they legally purchased the debt, basically what it's going to say is what's the name on file, the alleged account number. You're asking for the address, the amount, yada, yada, yada. You want to put these people in position to validate this money that you owe, because believe it or not, this is how the collection process works. So if you get sent to collections, I owe $1,000, and a collection agency wants to collect on me, guess what? Whoever gave me that $1,000, they sold that account to whoever purchased it. So if I sell it to LNVN Funding for $500, whoever I got the $1,000 for made their money when they sold the debt to that person. So realistically speaking, you don't even owe the original creditor. You're dealing with the collection agency, which is why you should be hitting them with stuff like this, because what use are you really doing talking to somebody on the phone that can't really validate it at that point? The original creditor got their money. At that point, your only responsibility is to talk to the agency. But the funny thing is, you don't owe them any obligation because you didn't sign no paperwork with them. So they can't legally enforce that unless it is credit card or personal loan debt. If it's banking institution debt, look, I'll tell you just like this, you got to pay that shit because they not fucking with that. But outside of that, anything outside of bank debt, you got to go about it the legal way. Now, sometimes the bank may sell your debts to third-party agencies. I've dealt with situations like that before, and that's cool. But they're always going to validate it if it's coming from a bank. So that's just free game right there. But anything else is free game. Make sure y'all send these debt validation letters for real. This is something that's really, really clutch. It'll help you out when you're dealing with crazy collection agencies. I remove evictions using the same exact process. I swear to God on my life, Lord, strike me down on this beautiful Sunday. I have used this same method. I got ProCollect deleted from my credit report when they reported me for an eviction. And all it was just putting them in position to validate what they're talking about. So just some more free game as far as disputing with these agencies. I always say stay away from your feelings, stay away from opinions, stop trying to rebuttal. Because if you rebuttal with these people, you're basically admitting that you owe the money, and that's the last thing you want to do. Again, you don't want to call, you don't want to respond. If it's not by letter, it's nothing to talk about. And then lastly, you want to ensure yourself that, again, the debt is sold to an agency and that you're not arguing with the original creditor. Now, I'll say this ahead of time because I've seen a lot of people do this. If you are dealing with an original creditor and you're disputing and you're going back and forth with them, don't be surprised if they hit you with a lawsuit. That's why you should wait until the debt is sold, worst case scenario. If it's not, you just going to piss them off and they're going to try to sue you and get the money out of you by wage garnishment or whatever. Then you're going to have an embarrassing conversation with your employer and they're going to be telling you, look, we gotta, your wages are going to get garnished. And that's not a good conversation to have with your employer because now they're in your business. So again, if you want to remove all of the derogatory remarks from your credit report, whether it's, a collection or a charge off or whatever, make sure you don't try to get in arguments with these people. Make sure you're collecting sufficient evidence. I can't say this enough. There's so many people sometimes that pay me and they say, Da'zjon, I don't agree with this debt because of, I was evicted and I don't believe I owe this amount. Then when you ask them, did you leave any damages behind? Do you have any pictures? The answer is usually no. And that's a bad thing because you always want to have verification of what you got going on. You always want to have proof, a paper trail of what's going on. Because if you don't, and then you go back out and dispute, it's not going to work out for you. You just wasted a lot of time. A lot of people waste a lot of time, a lot of money, sometimes even paying, professionals to fix things that can't be fixed because they didn't take the time to acquire that information. So if you're moving into apartments or you're getting new services with businesses, make sure you're documenting everything because the last thing you want to do is go into default. They sell the account and somebody else is validating everything based off of that. So again, keep a paper trail of everything you got going on. Keep your contracts, keep your signatures that you sign on the paperwork. All of that is essential to your success as far as disputing. And if you don't have those things, you make it harder for yourself to be successful to remove these accounts. So again, this may not necessarily work with your banking institution or somebody that you may be trying to get along with, but these methods can work if you have medical bills, sometimes even what they call it, brain fart, collections, charge-offs, repos, whatever the case may be. You can utilize these steps by first starting off with a debt validation letter. So I really just wanted to do a little short video just to really talk about that because I feel like I get a lot of questions on that. So again, I'm gonna show y'all before I close out this video how it looks like, how it's set up. Show y'all first on Facebook. Y'all see that how it's designed. All you got to do is just put information in a letter and have them fill the information out. If they're not filling out none of this stuff or they can't fill it out, ain't no reason they should be contacting you. And this is why I tell people the importance of a cease and desist letter. So again, if you're dealing with these crazy collection agencies, make sure you're sending them this type of information. Make sure you're having them answer every last question. And again, we have services on this if you need help with it. But yeah, make sure you have them answer all of these questions thoroughly. And if they don't answer none of these questions thoroughly, you know who to contact to get that shit taken off. Because again, none of these collection agencies are that smart. I will tell you ahead of time, it is a 3-step system. So for people that look into my services or or watch a lot of my content, keep in mind that the bureaus or the agency itself, they get 30 days to respond. Realistically speaking, it's going to take 3 months. So you can expect 90 to 120 days for you to fix your situation. That's 3 to 4 months. I hear a lot of companies saying, oh, it takes 6 to 12. Man, that's all horseshit. You understand that? All that is bullshit. It does not take that long to get your shit right. It takes about 3 to 4 months, maybe 5, 6 at best, depending on the situation. But it's not going to take that long, though. So make sure y'all tap in, watch the rest of the videos that I have in the lineup. That's going to make it a lot easier for people that want to dispute. So again, I appreciate everybody that's taking the time to watch this video. Keep in mind, I'm going to be posting every weekend now. So no more weekday stuff. Got a new job, so I'll be caught up in other stuff. So again, I appreciate everybody that's taking the time to watch my video. Hope you all stay blessed on this Sunday and be easy.